So let's take a quick look at the surface noise in ZBrush. So you can access the surface noise down here with this button. This is the noise maker user interface, and here is just a viewport, the same as your original viewport. You can open a noise file, you can save out your current settings, you can copy your current settings, and you can paste the stuff that you copied into a separate subtool. I'm gonna load a texture down here where it says alpha on off. Load this metal texture. If I rotate this around, see that there's a lot of shearing going on here, and the reason for that is I have 3D on, and when I load a texture, the texture was applied as a 3D projection based on my camera angle. So if I had been looking from this way, the projection would have been applied from this side. I'm going to switch to a darker color so we can see what's happening, and color blend, I'm just going to increase that so you can see what's happening. Let's see, scale, that's nothing strange, just scaling up the texture or scaling down. Magnify by mask, that's a little unclear to me what it does. I've looked in the documentation and not really found anything. It should have something to do with the mask, and I think it has to do with like the meeting between the mask and the unmasked areas. So let's go into edit mode once again. So magnify by mask, you can see that things are happening around the edge of the mask here. So it's not a setting that I use. Strength, that's basically a bump like feature, and you can see that I get these kind of, I don't know if you can see this, I get this kind of thing where the noisemaker eats away the geometry. This is only a I wouldn't say it's a bug because it's the bump is applied in 2.5D. So since the mesh is so thin and it's like a 2D displacement thing happening, the mesh would intersect with itself and with the geometry that's lying underneath it. So kind of makes sense that this is happening, but it's not something that I ever would want. So I would just lower this. For now, I'm not going to use it at all. Strength by mask, that is, if that's up on 1, nothing is happening around the masked area. But if I lower this, I have the mask showing and also the noise underneath it. Might be what you want, or so. Color blend. If I have a color blend at 1, it will apply the color in this swatch. And if I have at 0, 1, it will apply the color which I have in that. Now, noise curve. This is a really handy thing. It basically, you can use the contrast of your texture like this with an S-curve, which is nice. I usually use the UV button here, and then the texture is applied in UV space, so you don't get that shearing on the side, but you get a nice layout of the texture overall. So this is how I use Noisemaker. You can also activate the noise plug, but that's a whole separate thing itself, so I'm not going to go into that. Just going to use white for this. Just going to use a darker color. So this thing with Noisemaker, it's really handy to have that sort of tool, because you don't need the resolution on your model to get those details. You just need UVs to apply the texture. So that's surface noise.